Hi to all of you. After having studied and worked for the real estate sector for more than 15 years now, I noticed that its cycle is very different from the other sectors. Why? It is dependent not only on demand supply, but the equal weight, what not many of you might be aware, is also on labor and the bank finance. So, what issues everyone is facing today is live in front of us, and there are people who are in dire distress, but there are people who are managing it. So what exactly they are managing, how they are doing it, what are the problems they are facing, is something which the general of us should be aware of. So we all have complaints against builders, the real estate sector, that they are thieves, they are delaying it on purpose, they are siphoning the money. But that might not always be the case. There are people who do that, that's for sure. But the problems what they're facing as of today is the worker shortage. Most of the real estate sector is hugely dependent on migrant labor. As of now, even though the lockdown is up since last 2 months, there's nothing as a lockdown in Pune as of now. But still, they are not able to work at more than 30% capacity. Real estate sector is one in which the automation, the technology has come in, but it is not to that extent that it can substitute labor. And there is not enough local labor available in Pune and even in Maharashtra as such. And there are people who are trying to push in on the deadlines and trying to employ local labor, which we term it as a desperate employment. The costing is too high for that. People are paying more than 150% of what they have been paying right now, earlier before the lockdown. So apart from the labor angle, the work cycle is also dependent on continuous cash flows. Now you have cash flows coming in from customers and also from the bank finance. The customer end has trickled down to barely 15%. If someone is connected to the banking sector, you can actually understand that part. And surprisingly, most of the banks are refusing to restructure the loans as of now. Today we are sitting on 30th of August. Come 1st September, it's going to be an additional nightmare. Why? Because the interest moratorium is going to end on the 31st of August. So everyone has been trying to break their brains and been talking to banks about how to refinance of what is going to start from the month of September. So work from home is what people have been preferring. People have been barged with by the government authorities, by friends, relatives, let's work at home. So what happens when you do that? Your commercial spaces are getting vacated. And there is almost nil new demand as of now. So you imagine the real estate sector or the builders who are thriving only on the commercial construction or maybe the leases. So you can imagine their condition as of now. So what would you suggest to get out of this? It's very easy for a customer end to say that reduce the prices, the things will sell like hotcakes. But do you know what happens when it is done? The customer, and more importantly, the investors, they will have to cancel what they have already done before COVID. And they will try to book in the same project at a lower rate. So you can imagine what happens to the builder in such a situation. He has some bookings, he has some commitments. Those commitments they will cancel and they will try to rebook. So reducing prices for the real estate sector becomes a strict no because of this reason. So you can think of it as a chicken and egg situation for the real estate sector. How is that a chicken and egg situation? The builder, if he wants to speed up his work, he needs to call for labor. But to pay his labor, he will need funds. But due to fund shortage, he's unable to speed up his work. So that angle needs to be considered by the people who are closely related to the real estate sector, maybe as customers, as suppliers, as the bankers. But also let us look at the customer end, how it has hit the customers. The cash flow which has hit the business sector has also hit the service sectors equally. So due to the cash flows hitting them, they are unable to pay the builders. So if a builder is sending you a demand note, the customer says, boss, I don't have the money to pay you right now. The banks, the EMIs, not everyone has gone up for the extended moratorium, which was there for 6 months. So how does the customer pay his EMIs when he's being paid 50% salaries, 30% salaries, or maybe no salary in quite a few situations? So there have been more than 40 to 50% defaults in EMIs during the lockdown. So we are we are definitely going to see a lot of builders delay on delivery commitments, which as on today we are looking at it to be at least 12 months of delay. So we don't know when this is ending. We have the ministers coming online, they are speaking, saying that we might have a new lockdown. It creates a phobia in the mind of a lot of people. What might happen to this sector is that the ones who can survive, they will survive. The ones who are finding it difficult, you might see a lot of shoes going up and people saying that we are done, we are bankrupt now. But problems are not the end of the road, as we all know. We need to survive. There are a lot of people who are looking to survive, who are struggling, yes, but they are trying to work their way out of this because we all know that this bad phase will end. So there are two main words which work on this solution is the sentiment and the patience. As we all know, the real estate sector is the second largest contributor to the country's GDP. So even from a central government angle, from a state government angle, they will try things to make it survive. So from our end, as a builder or as a customer, what are we looking at? What are we trying? How do we solve this issue? So we are just trying to reach out to people, to reach out to the builders. We are trying to move out now. Now is probably the correct time to invest in the real estate sector. You are getting good opportunities, you are getting good rates, you are getting good bargains. And also how the real estate is adopting to this change, because we know that most of the people are sitting at home. They are looking to ways to sell the things virtually. We have seen people employ drone cameras, walkthroughs, which we are terming it as virtual selling. We are reaching out through social medias, which earlier looked impossible. How can you sell a real estate property through social media? So we are using drones to take customers on a virtual site visit, online bookings, online payment portals, which a real estate sector never used. It was only being used by uh, Amazon, Flipkart, and other home delivery products. There have been tremendous amount of safety precautions on sites for physical visits. There have been a lot of offers, but all this is happening with an anticipation that this problem is going to continue more. So people are planning for the cash flows and the delivery timelines accordingly. So I think that would be all from my end. So you think you need some additional inputs in this? I can go ahead with this.
No, that's fine. Unless and until if you missed something and you want to add something more to your topic.
No, I'm good at this, Rahul.
Okay, excellent. So,
Yeah.
thank you, Kailash. You first of all pointed out the issues that the real estate is facing during this lockdown. And then you gave your valuable suggestions, which I'm sure the industry will appreciate and follow as an advice from a professional chartered accountant. So, in all, thank you for your participation in this event, and thank you for sharing your time. Let's conclude this first session, and we'll join again in this event, digital event. And in the next session, we will be having CA Sachin Rokhe and CA Alok Gadkari, who will be speaking with us and sharing with us their topic, which is automobile industry and manufacturing industry in general. So let's wait for that, and let's wait for the guidance as well. Okay, so let's conclude this first session, and we will see you in the second session. Thank you, Nandan.
Thank you, Ravi.
Thank you for participating.
Thank you, Ravi.